Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon, my series in which I use tarot spreads to help me explore topics related to living the intentional life. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Well friends, the tarot spread has been laid, so let's dive right in. And so friends, you can see we're using the Melanated Tarot again. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you're interested in getting this deck, at the end of the video, I will show you the name of the creator. And below the video, I'll put a link showing you where to go to purchase it for yourself. Now, if you look at this overall spread, you will see that one line of cards is all reversed. Don't worry. It's not bad. This is not a bad spread at all. This is a very good and helpful spread. Even the two cards at the end are also reversed. But again, don't worry. Let's look at the first card. The first card is a theme, if you will. I was talking to a friend recently about how I read tarot, and especially for this thread. I read tarot like an essay, if you will. The first card would be the thesis statement. Yeah, the thesis statement of an essay. And the next three lines would be like body paragraphs, and the last two like a conclusion. And so let's dive into the introductory paragraph of this spread. And what is the thesis? And so the first card is the Chariot. Yeah, the Chariot, a very old-fashioned car, moving forward. And when we live the intentional life, part of the meaning of Chariot is success, victory. We want to have success. We want to feel the sense of victory, of accomplishing and living the life that we want to live. We want to feel the sense of accomplishment in the relationship that we're creating, the job that we are working in, and each success within that job. We want to feel that sense of success in the house we are creating, the family we are creating. We want to feel that sense of success with our own personal development, with our own personal growth and spiritual success. And many people believe that willpower is the way to accomplish that sense of success, to accomplish the life that we want to live. But I know that you know, that willpower is not living the intentional life. Willpower can be helpful. Willpower can be very helpful. And it's the way many people live their lives and succeed. But there's another way. The way of intention, the way of flowing, not struggling and working, but flowing with the power that you have available to you. And that is the power of intention. So success is not necessarily working forward like a chariot, an old chariot, but rather more like a boat in a river. And the more that you are allowing the river to move you forward, the quicker you'll go. The stronger your flow of intention will become. Also, the Chariot is a card of action. It's a card of doing things, getting things done. And some people also misunderstand living the intentional life as not having to do anything or not doing anything, waiting for things to happen. And that's not living the intentional life either, because we're here to do. If we didn't want to do things in these physical bodies, we wouldn't have come into these physical bodies in the first place. We would be out floating around in the ethers as spirit form, just observing things as they progress. We came here to do, to enjoy doing, to explore things, to discover, to develop preferences and move towards the things that we like. We came here to create, and creation is doing. So that aspect of the Chariot is living the intentional life. Yeah? We came here to do, but not to do with willpower, but to do with joy, to do with excitement, to do with love. We came here to do. And what does that look like? Living the intentional life. In this line of cards, we have the Page of Wands, a card of passion, fire, and then two other swords cards, the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords, both of them having to do with mind, with thought. But we start with the Page, that fire, new inspiration. Yeah? The Page is the card of inspiration, of new ideas, of discovery. Yeah? That feeling you feel when you see somebody and you say, I want to know him, or I want to know her. Yeah? Or when you see a job and you think, I'd like to do that, because you think it would help you grow or evolve, or because you think it would earn you a lot of money. When you get that idea of, I want to live there, or I want to create this work of art, this music, this dance, this new creation. Now, that is the Page of Wands. And have you ever felt that? I'm sure you have. We've all felt that. I know I felt that when I first got the idea to work at the job I'm working now. Yeah? I felt that when I thought about studying theater when I was in high school. Yeah? I felt that many times, and I'm sure you have too. When have you felt that? That new spark, that new burgeoning flame of passion, of interest, of discovery. It's that feeling of limitless potential, isn't it? Because it can become anything. It can move you anywhere when it first starts. It's that sense of having a free spirit, not being chained by any burdens of, well, I have to do this, I need to do that, I need to take care of that, the next step is this. It's that first beginning of freedom in the new. It's that feeling of being motivated to begin. That feeling of fresh energy is the Page of Wands. And it's wonderful, and it's also unstable. Yeah? The Page of Wands is that first new burst of inspiration, but it's not something that is formed. It's not something you can grab hold of. There's some instability in that newness. And because there is instability, sometimes, maybe often, the shadows creep in to knock us a little bit off balance. You know, something will happen, something that might look like an obstacle, or nothing might happen, and that might feel like an obstacle. You might feel like you're not moving fast enough, and suddenly you start feeling anxiety. You might start worrying. You might feel afraid that this thing that I was so excited about, that I'm feeling so passionate about, might not come to fruition. It might not happen. The Nine of Swords is often called the nightmare card. Yeah? So you might start getting bad dreams. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. The worry, the anxiety could get that extreme if left unchecked. You might not be able to sleep. You might feel insomnia. You might toss and turn in bed because this thing you were so excited and passionate about is suddenly starting to feel unstable. Like it might not be as possible as you first thought. And that's common. That's not something to worry about. There's no need to get depressed over it. There's always the next night to sleep. And we always have the choice to repeat that cycle of worry or to let it go, to open our fearfully clutched hands, our anxious hands, to relax them and let those worries go. We always have that choice. And that's what the Queen of Wands is telling us. The Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords is telling us. She's telling us that we have the possibility to not destroy with our sword, not to slash and cut and eliminate, but to pierce the cloud of anxiety or confusion or fear, to pierce it, let that light through. And when we see the light shining through that hole, the rest of the clouds can start to dissipate. The fog can dissipate. And then we can start to feel the power of our mind, that we are powerful beings. We have minds capable of moving forward, of solving problems, and enjoy solving problems. Because problems are not problems if we're focusing on solutions. Problems are only really problems if we're clutching onto the problem, if we can't move around it to the solution. Problems that drive us, that move us, that guide us towards solutions are actually teachers. They're helpful. They are our assistants. So the Queen of Swords is showing us that we have the minds to move past the worry, move past the anxiety. We can be independent beings in our own minds. We can use our judgment to realize that this is not what I want and that is what I want, and then move towards that. Now the Queen of Wands, the Swords, is showing us that all of us can find our inner queen. Whether we are a man or a woman, we all have our inner Queen of Wands there, ready to show us clarity, to find us clarity. And that clarity is what is going to help move us and open us into being able to access the immense power of our intention. Let's move on to the next line. In this line of all reversed cards, we get a great lesson. We learn a lot. It is our teacher for this week. The reversed Ace of Wands, the reversed Two of Swords, the reversed Knight of Pentacles will teach us a lot. Because when we have that Page of Wands moment, when we have that inspiration to do things, that excitement to move forward, like the Chariot, that first inspiration is a somewhat formless cloud. Yeah, it's an emerging idea, but it lacks definite shape. Do you remember when you've had that inspiration, that desire to start something, that thought that I want to know him or her, or I want to work there, or I want to experience this? That first inspiration is formless, and it takes time reveling in it, imagining it, sensing it within ourselves to start giving it shape. But at first, it's, as an emerging idea, somewhat formless. Like, for example, the last trip I took with my mother, it was a very large trip, but the first thought of it, while exciting, was just like one sentence: we are going to do this. I didn't know anything about how to get there, what to do when we are there, what we would eat, what we would need to pack to get there. All of those details, none of those details were there. All I had was that image of this vacation, this trip. When I got my job here before I got my job here at this university, that first inspiration was, I want to work there. I had no idea exactly what the job would entail, what the students would be like, what the other faculty would be like, what I would need to do to get the job. But I thought, I want to work there. It was that emerging idea. Have you had times like that? I'm sure you have. We all have. And that formlessness is beautiful, it's wonderful, it's exciting, but without any form, we don't have direction. We don't have a clear direction. We have a general direction, but we don't have a clear direction of where we're going to be going. And the time frame might be very ambiguous. And in that lack of form, in that lack of solidity, we can start becoming impatient if things don't seem to form quickly enough for us. We start to feel that things are being delayed. We start to feel a lack of direction. We start to feel distractions becoming more prominent in our thoughts. Now, our focus starts to waver because of that lack of form. We need something clear to hold on to maintain our focus, right? An ambiguous emerging idea doesn't have that form to grasp onto. And so we can start feeling that fog start to dissipate. So what can we do? Well, in those moments, we need to be able to start making decisions. We need to be able to realize that that confusion is created by ourselves. We're not flowing in the direction of clarity for some reason of our own. It could be because of confusion. It could be because of information overload. There are too many choices, and we feel overwhelmed by those, but we still need to make decisions. And this Two of Swords card reversed is showing us that the lack of direction, the lack of clarity is because of our lack of ability in making decisions about the newly formed and emerging idea. And it's okay if those decisions are wrong, because if it's really something that we are clearly wanting, if it is something that our entire being wants, it's going to happen. In this lifetime, in the next lifetime, it's going to happen. And how quickly it happens is how quickly that we are able to flow with our flow of intention. We are able to move with our flow of intention. And that will require making decisions. It requires, like the reversed Knight of Pentacles shows us, it requires some self-discipline. Not the self-discipline of nose to the grindstone or doing something that we don't want to do just because we know we need to do it. The self-discipline to be able to continually move back into allowing the flow of our intention to move us forward. It's the self-discipline to be able to move through boredom, to be able to move through the feeling of being stuck. It's the self-discipline that gets us to make a choice and follow that choice until it either succeeds, moves us in the direction of another set of choices, or when we notice that we've hit a block, move around it and choose something else, still in the direction of that new, exciting, inspired idea, that inspired passion. Yeah? The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles reverse, is showing us the self-discipline that we need to be able to open to the power of our intention. Let's move on to the next line of cards. So in this line of cards, we see the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Two very emotional, the last two, very emotional or emotionally based cards. The first one being more material. And the first one, the Ten of Pentacles, is showing us what we often think of as our end goal. Yeah? Perhaps it could be wealth. Perhaps it could be financial security. Maybe we want to have a financially secure life, and that's fine. That's fine. Maybe we want to have that long-term success achieved. Yeah, that could be our end goal. Perhaps our end goal is a family. We want to have a secure, happy family that surrounds us and supports us and that we can support in turn. We might want to feel that we're making a contribution to the people around us, to society perhaps, to our area of interest, whether that's art or music or academic circles or finances. We want to feel like we're contributing as we are creating the lives that we are dreaming of. But that's really an end goal. Yeah? That end goal of wealth, prestige, having created something is the end goal. And keeping our eye on the prize is wonderful, but if that's the only thing we think about, if we think that we will only be happy when we reach that goal, when we reach that destination, then we are setting up a problem for ourselves. We need to enjoy every step of the journey towards that. Every step of the journey towards that financial success, that family, that sense of being an important contributor. Every step can be joyful, can be exciting, can be new, can be the reason for moving, instead of the end goal being the reason for arriving. Yeah? The reason for moving is so much more important. And so to be able to get that sense of every step being a joyful experience, being a loving experience, we need to be the King of Cups. We need to be emotionally balanced. When the negative emotions arise, we want to be able to balance ourselves, find our balance, our equilibrium. We want to feel compassion for ourselves and others. We want to be caring for ourselves and others. And that will be able to move us back into our sense of worthiness, of belonging, of then love and joy and wonderful satisfaction. The end goal can sometimes be a problem if that's what we need to make us happy. Being happy in the journey is what will bring the end goal. And so, as we look at the Two of Cups, we remember that it's not only about lovers. This is often called the Lover's card. It's not only about romantic relationships. It's about remembering that we are co-creators of our journey. We're not taking this journey on our own. We are not journeying down our paths alone. It's a co-creative experience. As humans, but also just as physical beings, this entire universe is a co-creative experience. So we are acting in partnership. And in our emotionally balanced, in our compassionate, caring, loving state, we recognize that co-creation and we revel in it. We revel in our partnerships. We revel in opportunities to collaborate. Gosh, my mouth's not working. We revel in opportunities to collaborate. And that is the way that we open ourselves to the power of our intention. And we add in the power of other people's intentions as well. Our rivers of intention commingle and add power and add exuberance to each other. So, experiencing that is the true meaning of the Chariot, and the Chariot moving in the direction and with the power of the flow of our intentions. Let's look at the last two cards. And so in the last two cards, we see our two more great teachers. The first one, the reversed Seven of Wands, tells us that we will sometimes feel exhaustion. We will feel overwhelmed. Have you felt that before? Have you ever felt overwhelmed? Have you ever felt exhausted by everything that you have or feel like you have to do, accomplish, take care of? Have you felt burdened by responsibility or burdened by your own expectations because they're not happening as easily or as quickly as you think that they should be happening? Have you felt that? I have. Everyone has. And that's okay. That is okay. Own that feeling. Because it's teaching you something. It's teaching you that you have, for one, turned your boat around in the river and are starting to try to swim away from what you really want. You're trying to paddle your boat in the most difficult direction possible instead of moving in the direction of your intention towards what you really, really want. And we all do it. We all do it. We feel like we've lost our confidence. We feel like we've lost our ability to make clear decisions. But remember, if you will allow yourself to own that feeling, recognize it, recognize that what you really need to do is relax your hands, take care of yourself, get yourself to be able to move to a better feeling place, to move one step closer to satisfaction, to belief, to hope, to love and gratitude. If you realize that what you need to do is take the emotional journey towards love again, and that will be your reversed Five of Pentacles. Recovery. You will be able to recover from that overwhelm. You will realize that this is not just a physical journey towards an end destination, but this is also a spiritual journey, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience, as Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say. You're taking the emotional journey, the spiritual journey towards what you want, towards that bright shining light in the distance, recognizing that there is bright shining light here, and that bright shining light here is you. You'll start feeling improvement. You'll start feeling growth again. You will start feeling your inspiration returning as you let go of those worries, that burden, and move towards a better feeling, a better emotion, a happier, more positive state. So friends, to be able to move with the Chariot in the powerful flow of your intention, our inspiration is the first step. Our end goal is not the next step. The journey is the next step. And recognizing that we're going to slip and fall off that journey, off the path a little bit, and that's okay. We learn that way. We came here to learn that way. Not because someone is telling us we need to learn this lesson, but because learning is part of our expansion and our growth and our evolution. And recognizing that you will learn, you will grow, you will expand, you will evolve. And regaining the confidence to get back in your chariot and enjoy flowing with your powerful force of intention. Friends, thank you for being here. If you feel like it, you feel inspired to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. If you feel there's someone that might benefit from watching this, share this with them. You have my full permission and blessing and appreciation for sharing. And comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I would truly appreciate hearing from you. In just a moment, I will give you the information about the deck, the Melanated Tarot. And as always, now and every day, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.